What's up, everybody? So I wanted to give a little intro to this video that I have right here. This is actually a coaching call that I did yesterday, and I didn't get the very beginning part, and so I wanted to sort of give you the first few questions that I laid out for my clients on this coaching call, because I think that they're great reflection questions to help us understand feelings, because that's really what I talked about for the beginning part of the call. Then I took questions, so you're going to be able to see all that. And oftentimes what stops us from getting our goals, it's not our environment, it's not money, it's not any of those things, it's our own feelings that are getting in the way. And so I started out, like I said, with a few questions. The first question, and this is a great question for you to grab a journal for, grab a pen, and actually write this out. And that's what I had everybody do yesterday. So first question is, think about the people that annoy you. What are the qualities in other people that really trigger you, that really irritate you? Like, what are the qualities that trigger you in other people? That's question number one. Question number two is, who are the people that you envy or that you judge harshly? All right, think about that. Write that answer down. And then the third question is, when you feel disrespected, ignored, or unloved, what's going on? Like, what's happening? What are those circumstances? What happens in order to make you feel that way? Okay? And so answer those questions first. Pause the video right now and answer those questions. And then I'm going to ask you some follow-up questions to go back into those other questions. Okay? So pause the video, answer those questions, and then come back, because I'm going to go right into it right now. So back to question number one, I want to ask you this. What part of you might feel unseen or rejected in those same areas? Okay, so the people that trigger you, the things that trigger you in someone else, is it them, or is that something that you feel? I hope this is making sense. Whatever you do not reflect on, you do project. Oftentimes how we see others is actually just a reflection of ourselves. And that's a lot of the reason for these questions right now, is I actually want to hold up a mirror to you right now, and I want to show you how you view others is oftentimes how you view yourself. And we need to self-reflect in order to find those things that are within us that are stopping us, that we're doing to self-sabotage ourselves, and we're not even realizing it. So that's question number one. The areas the characteristics that trigger you in other people, is it them, or do you possess those same qualities? Okay. Then question number two was the question about the people that you envy or judge harshly. My question for you is, what does that reveal to you about hidden desires in your own life? I actually think jealousy, envy is a great tool if we let it be a good tool in our life, because it actually just shows you, I want that same thing for my life. Every time you envy someone, every time you're jealous of someone, don't hate on that person. That is actually just a sign that they have something that you want. It shows you your true desires, okay? And so instead of turning, some of that violence towards them, or even sometimes we turn it towards ourselves and we end up in self-hatred and victim and like, well, I'll never get it, must be nice sort of thing. No, it's just a sign of a desire that you have. And if you look at their life and what they have, there's probably a hidden blueprint that you're missing out on that can show you the roadmap on how you can get that same thing. So that's number two. And the last question, when you feel disrespected, ignored, or unloved, what is happening there? And where are the areas that you are doing that to yourself? So when you feel disrespected, how much are you disrespecting yourself? when you feel unloved? How much are you not loving yourself? Start to use these questions as a mirror. Start to reflect on where in your life that you are doing these things. And this has been such a helpful tool for me. And I've used my journal a lot for this, to kind of ask me those questions and reveal I've got some work to do in some of these areas. Because really life is a mirror. And so those were the questions that we started out the call with. And then right after that, the video picks up from there. So I hope you enjoy this call. There's a lot of value. I had some great questions asked on this call as well. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching the video. I know that's hard to hear sometimes. You're like, dang it. Dang it, that triggers me. I don't like that, but like, shoot. My answers were me. What do you mean by that, Yvette?
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, just a couple of the answers that I put was for somebody was attitude,
Okay.
and just, control.
Okay.
Which I have an attitude, I'm not gonna lie. I can have an attitude. Yeah, control. I like to control.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of
Good. Okay. I like it. So that's what I wanted to know. If I wasn't sure if you answered the questions incorrectly, or if you're like, nope, that hits. Sounds like it's the latter. Okay, cool. And then look at your second question. Who do you envy? Who do you judge harshly? So what does that reveal about what you secretly desire in your own life? Go ahead and write that down. Like, that's a good question. Think about the people that you judge harshly or that you envy. I think that jealousy, envy is a really useful tool, because what it does is it shows you, no, you want that too. You hate on that person right there, because that's the easy thing to do. But all jealousy is doing is it's showing you, you want the same thing. It's a really good tool. Okay. And then I think I only asked one more question. Okay, so when you feel disrespected, ignored, unloved, question, how often do you assume others are doing it to you versus noticing where you might be doing it to yourself? I realized recently, like, I don't know if it's recently as in like in the last like 5 years, 6 years, something like that, that I have felt disrespected a lot of my life, and it makes me mad. So that's why that trigger question is good. Like, what makes you mad? Makes me mad when people don't respect me. Makes me mad when people don't listen to me. Guess who wasn't respecting me? Me. Guess who wasn't listening to me? Me. Life, like you've heard it said, like, life is a mirror. This is what we're talking about. Life is a mirror. So I wanted, the thing is too, like, when you, so this is like projection, right? When you are projecting that on others, it's actually a reflection of what's going on in here. I'm trying to help you create some awareness around some of the things that are going on in here. Because if you don't reflect on that, you will project it. If you don't, whatever you don't reflect on, you project, okay? And projection is like, it's a little get around. It's our ego. It's satisfying our ego is what it does. And your ego is going to try to help you function in the world without getting a little, it's going to self-sabotage you, but it's going to help you function, if you know what I'm saying. Like, because here's the thing. All, like, what I really want to talk to you guys today about is feelings. I like hesitate saying that because I'm like, we're going to talk about feelings today. Okay. But you know what I know is totally effing you over all the time? Is your feelings. That's really all that is messing you up most of the time. Like, it's hardly ever your environment. Like, there might be moments when your environment messes you up, like you'll have moments of it, but as far as like the ongoing, like where like things are getting in the way, it's really your feelings. And so I want to shine a light on a lot of these things for you, because if you don't pull them out of like your subconscious, you don't even realize you have them, because your ego is like making sure that you don't like take care of it. Your ego is like, that's not you, that's them. Oh. Like, you're not controlling, Yvette. That person's controlling. They're so annoying, you know? Do you guys you hear what I'm saying? Is this making sense? Okay. Because okay, where do I want to go with this? Okay, so the reason why I wanted to bring up projection is because it's a form of self-sabotage, okay? And if there's one thing that I feel like I'm constantly talking to clients about, it's self-sabotage. And let me just ask you a question. How many of you feel like this past week you have done some sort of self-sabotaging behavior? Yeah? Okay. I just want you to know, do you know what self-sabotage is? Who has like a good definition for me? Anybody? Nobody's gonna tackle it? Okay, it's okay. Self-sabotage this is gonna sound like I'm not trying to get therapeutic, but like self-sabotage, all it is like stuffed down feelings. Negative thoughts, yes, but where are those negative thoughts coming from? Probably some sort of feelings. The thing about thoughts, your thoughts, which are not all your own, Coach Mike's been talking about that a lot, like many thoughts are not even your own, but what do thoughts create within you? They create feelings, right? Guess what feelings create? More thoughts. And there's this like loop of just like negativity, like you have a negative thought, and you have a negative feeling, and then you have a negative feeling, and then you have another negative thought, and it just starts snowballing into this whole negative pattern. And then all of a sudden there's this whole attitude that's just like it's like lava under the surface, where it's just like waiting to bubble up and mess you up. Okay, so self-sabotage is stuffed down feelings, and that is why that's why I wanted to do the questions with you guys, because I want you to start to see, wait a second, okay, I'm irritated by that, but what does that say about me? Like, every time you have a negative thought or a negative feeling, I actually want you to think about, like, okay, is that really them? Or is it how I am? Like, really start to use your feelings as a mirror into yourself. Start to really, like, don't just take them at surface value, okay? Start to use your feelings as a mirror. I'm gonna do I want to tell you my story first, or will I show you this? Can self-sabotage also be going against what you know you should do, or is that more a lack of listening to your conscience? Yes, it can be. Probably going against what you know you should do. You probably have feelings as to, like, you probably have repressed feelings about why you don't want to succeed. If that makes sense. Like, what about your success, if you actually did the thing you know you should do, scares you? You should probably deal with that, because there's probably some sort of underlying fear or guilt or shame or something there, which that answers my question as to what I'm going to do with you guys next. I want to show you this. I think I've shown you this before, but I'm going to show you this again because I actually think it's a super helpful tool. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So this is a frequency chart, and it is all the feelings on a color chart. And you can Google this. Like, if you Google like emotional frequency chart, you're gonna see this. At the very bottom, we got shame. Then we got guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Okay, where do y'all want to be on this frequency chart? Do we want to be in the bottom? Absolutely not. We want to be at the top, right? Just look at this for a second. Think about it. Is there an emotion, especially on the lower frequencies here, that you feel most often? Just question. Is there one? There's one for me. Just shake your head yes or no if there's one where you're like, oh yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Okay. It's really interesting because they all kind of have their own little origin for us. And, you know, I think probably at one time or another, we've all felt them. I have resolved within myself recently that I never want to actually get below anger. If I find myself feeling any of these feelings right here, all it is just like a warning light on my vehicle that tells me I need to go service my engine. Okay? And I think that's a good standard for you all to have too, because anytime you're in this low vibration, this low frequency, we don't make good choices. We really do not make good choices. It's almost impossible, actually, to make good choices when you are in that low frequency. How do I unshare this now? This used to be easier. Huh. Oh, there we go. Okay, stop share. Okay, that took way too long. Okay. I'm gonna end with a little like personal story and a little tool. One tool. Like, there's multiple tools for you to use, but there's one that I know you all have access to right now that you could all use at any given moment. Let me tell you what one of the tools that I use a lot when I'm feeling a lot of feelings. And the thing about feelings is, like, feelings they create a lot of energy. Like, even the bad ones. Like, if you're feeling angry, like, you have energy. It's bad energy, but like, you have energy, right? Or if you're feeling guilty, you might like feel a little anxious and you're like, I need to get it out, right? Like, you just have this like pent up energy. You guys, relate to that? Okay. So I had an evening this week. I got mad about something. Mad, maybe a little bit sad, maybe a little disappointed. Like I had multiple feelings in an event that happened, and I decided like I'm gonna let it go right away. Like this isn't a problem, okay? Like I'm gonna let it go, and I was like doing okay, like on a scale of like 1 to 10, and 10 being like raging mad or raging in my feelings. I was like in the moment, I was like at a like 2, maybe 3, but like not too bad, right? I was doing all right. And then I went to bed, and my subconscious decided that it was a bigger problem than what my conscious brain was deciding, because I woke up at like 1:30 in the morning and I was pissed. I was like way more mad at 1:30 in the morning than I was like during the thing that happened, okay? Like I was like so mad, and then I could not go back to sleep. I couldn't fall back asleep, and I kept thinking about it, and I was more mad. Like the thoughts made more feelings, and the feelings made more thoughts, and then it was like this whole thing at 1:30 in the morning, and then 2 in the morning, and then 2:30 in the morning, and then I'm mad that I'm awake thinking about it, you know? Like you're mad that you're mad about it. And so, you know, I had planned to go to the gym the next day, and in bed I'm laying there and I'm like, am I gonna get up and work out in the morning? Am I gonna really leave here at 5:15 in the morning? Like I'm already not sleeping. I already went to bed late. I've already been up an hour and a half. Like, am I really gonna do this? And I didn't know the answer to that. But like I knew I was really, really mad, and I knew that if I didn't do something about it, it was gonna ruin my entire next day, right? Does this relate to anybody at all? Like, do you ever have these days, feelings, moments like this in time where you're just like, this is gonna suck if I don't actually do something about this? Okay. So, I just kind of like let it go. I finally fell back asleep, got another hour or hour and a half, whatever it was. My alarm goes off, and I still felt that way. Like I still had all that negative energy, and I was still mad. And so I was just like, I'm gonna have to go to the gym. Like I'm literally going to have to go to the gym. And I don't normally do deadlifts on Tuesdays, but I was like, I'm gonna freaking do some deadlifts today. And that sounds super bro-y, right? But honestly, like it doesn't have to be deadlifts. Deadlifts work for me. But I was just like, I have all this negative energy and I need to put it somewhere. That is like they have a word for it. I think it's a weird word, but whatever. It's like transmuting your energy. You take the negative energy and you turn it into something positive, okay? But hold on here. This is where a lot of people stop. So I just want you to know, like, first of all, I think that there's some of you that probably when you have a night like I had, you don't get up and go to the gym the next day. You're like, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna let myself rest, but you have all that negative energy and you don't put it somewhere. And like I said, it doesn't have to be deadlifts. It could be something else. Like, I don't care if it's like deadlifts or going for a walk or going for a run or doing bicep curls, like whatever it is, like just something to help you get that negative energy into like positive energy, because it has to go somewhere. Okay? So some of you maybe have learned how to do that. Some of you have learned like, okay, no, those are the most important days for me to go to the gym and work those negative feelings out. But the problem is that you leave it there. See, I needed to go and I needed to like turn my energy into something better because I was gonna have a really bad attitude. But then I was like, I know I need to solve this problem. I know I need to communicate. I know I need to actually go into the problem and and face it. And that's the part that I think a lot of you are missing too. So you might actually take some of that energy and turn it into something good, but you leave it there. And so the gym is more of an escape, not a tool. I don't want you to just use the gym as an escape to your feelings. I just want you to actually turn the negativity into something productive and then go and solve the problem. Does that make sense? Like, your workouts should just be, it should do two things. It should change your energy so that you actually have the ability to go into whatever task you face with calmness, with peace, with clarity. But it should also give you confidence. Like, okay, I just turned around my whole energy. I turned around my whole attitude. I did something super hard. I just proved to myself that I'm capable. I can do hard stuff. So I'm going to go actually do some legitimately hard stuff, and I'm going to go solve this problem. Does that make sense? Okay. You cannot let your feelings be your master. They are not nice most of the time. Most of the time. I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but most of the time, they are self-sabotaging. They are not your friend. I want you, something that we used, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, something that we used to do a lot. Before we had these coaching calls and everything, and we were like stuck in 2020, and like we were all on Zoom. We used to do these burpee sessions with the team. And I kid you not, like, I remember times when we were doing like 300 burpees together on Zoom. And it was wonderful and miserable all at the same time, because like we were all like sweating individually in our own homes, but like also together. And I have a point to this. I remember Coach Mike, he would tell, because like you're alone. Like, I had the temptation so many times. We're like on burpee 185, and I'm just like, this sucks. How can I fake my laptop dying? Can I just pretend? Can I like pretend that it died? Like, oops, lost connection, and just take a little break, because 300 burpees, this is awful. Don't tell me you wouldn't do the same. Don't tell me you wouldn't have that same thought. Okay. But I remember him saying to use your mental witness, because like you are really only accountable as you're only as accountable as you want to be. So one tool that we would use is to pretend like you're almost like out of body and you're watching yourself do your burpees. Okay. Like, how well are, like, you're watching you do burpees, and your 10.0 self is watching you do burpees. How are you doing down there? You're watching yourself do burpees. Are you doing them good? Are you half-assing them? Are you pretending like your laptop died so you can get out of them? Like, what are you doing? That is a tool that you can use on the regular. Like, you are not your feelings. I just want you to know that. Coach Mike just has been hammering home, like, you are not your thoughts. I want to tell you, you are not your feelings. You are not your feelings. You have a higher self that is not your thoughts, and you are not your feelings. I want you to use your mental witness, and every time you have a thought or feeling that does not serve you, I want you to go, huh, that's kind of interesting. That's coming up for me. That's weird. I wonder where that comes from. It's not you, okay? And I want you to start using your mental witness and kind of like distancing yourself from it a little bit. and just like holding it in your hand and being like, I wonder where this like whole trigger thing is coming from. All right, was that helpful? Okay, cool. I'm gonna open it up to questions. So if you got a question, hit me. Tell me what you got. If you don't have questions, I'm gonna start calling on people. All right, we've got David. David's got a question. Hit me, David.
Hey, V. So I just wanted to recap just to make sure I caught everything correctly. So we want to take the negative energy, turn it into something positive, and then once we get into that positive state, then we face the problem to face the solution, correct?
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, how you deal with the problem could look a million different ways. I just don't want you to avoid the problem, because I do know that, like, especially, you know, like if you've been dealing with like, no, this isn't true. So sometimes, like, we end up trading vices for vices. And what I mean by that is this. Sometimes people come onto the program and you have a vice. Maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's food, maybe it's relationships, maybe could be anything, okay? And you drop that vice, and then all a vice really is it's a form of escape. A vice just helps you escape from the feelings that you feel. You realize that? Like all the vices you've ever had, that's not really the problem. The problem was that you used that thing to cover up the real problem. Okay? So what happens sometimes is you end up trading a vice for a different vice, but it's a better vice. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, now you're not smoking, drinking, overeating to avoid your problems, but now you're using the gym to avoid your problems. Like, I don't want you to do that. And that's why a lot of people sometimes stay stuck in the spot they're in. Like, now they're in shape, but like personal development wise, they actually haven't progressed at all. Because they never actually went and faced the problem that they were escaping from before they ever started the program. So that's why I'm like, we're always going to have those negative feelings. Like, it's just life. Like, life is gonna you're gonna get hit sometimes. How long are you gonna stay there? And then, like, what do you need to do to fix the problem so you don't actually, or maybe sometimes there's nothing you need to do. I don't know. It just really, like, you're just gonna have to use some wisdom and discernment to decide, like, is there something I need to do, or is this just my feelings? For me, I needed to do something.
Thank you.
You bet. Melissa.
Hey, so not really a question. It just, like, the last couple weeks, like, I feel like I needed to be on this call. It just spoke to me so loud. Like, it's like you said, I've been using the gym as my escape. I mean, I feel like I've been under attack by the enemy, and like, when I started the program, it was like, okay, get to the gym, figure out your macros. And now I feel like my struggle is that personal development. And that's where I've always like hit this and never moved forward. And I'm kind of avoiding it. Like, I didn't wake up this morning and hit the group, gym sesh. Easter happened. It was all great. And then he's like, oh, you and the family doing good? I'm going to hit you guys all where it hurts. And a big old fight blew out. And it kind of started this snowball of feelings. Well, he made me feel this way. And he always, just a big old snowball. And then I have a daycare, and I got a notice from a parent that their child won't be attending anymore, which is normal in business. Like, it happens. But to me personally, not being able to have kids, I feel like it was like the world being like, see, these aren't your kids. Like, it could be taken away so fast. So I just mentally just been in this block, and I've been doing the gym, but I haven't been doing my macros. I've been pushing everybody away, and I don't know, it just, I feel like in this program right now, I'm a challenge, not the physical part, I could go lift weights, I could go do the gym, but mentally, and then I almost didn't get on the call this morning, and I'm like, no, like, get up, sit there, and you're talking, and everybody's talking, and just, I'm glad there's this, like, not therapy, but, like, safe space to be like, damn, like, you get me, like, you guys are getting me, and I guess the question out of it's, like, how do you just keep pushing forward? Like, I love the gym, but how do you stop using it as a getaway, to not deal with problems?
I think that's a good question. So I actually think that it is good for you to just like I said, just use it to help you to deal with the problems, to like enter your problems with some strength and some clarity and some peace, right? Because that's what it does for me. Like for me, it gives me the ability to like have some, like I can be chaotic without it. So 100% use the gym, but I would actually like for you to like identify like what is the emotion, or what's the problem, like what's the thing that you keep avoiding, do you know?
I feel like I think I know, like I think it just, I'm afraid to just kind of move forward, and like it's really hard. It's like everything feels jumbled in my brain, like I could follow the plan, but it's like that personal development, like do this for Melissa, like do the journaling. I think I've always lived like, oh, I'll get that done tomorrow. Like I'm a procrastinator. Okay. Like, because this is going to be something to help me and finally process like my thoughts and my feelings. Like I just kind of just stop. Like, sure. Oh yeah, I'm going to journal later. Like I got this. And then weeks pass and then I feel like crap because I haven't done it. So I think I just avoid dealing with feelings. I'd rather just be angry, which is ridiculous. No, it's easier just to be pissed and angry than to deal with the feelings.
Yes, I totally. How many of y'all relate to that? Right. Your and ego is like such a like negative word, but like we all have ego. Like I don't want you to think like I'm like this. Like I have an ego. Like your ego though is what will keep you from trying to feel any sort of feelings. Like your ego is just like no, we don't want to feel that. Like and that's like why we project. It's why we self-sabotage, why you procrastinate. Like it's really ego getting in the way. Like it. So that's why like I actually, one of the most important things for you to do is just like actually feel the feelings, like the real feeling. The thing about anger that's interesting is like anger is like one of those like cover emotions for the most part. Anger, and this is helpful for those of you who feel angry a lot. Most of the time, if it's a negative anger, like because I actually think positive anger is a real thing, but like if it's a negative anger, it's either coming from pain or fear. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that makes sense. Like, cause I think it's a little both. It's pain of like what I've been through, and then the fear of like moving past that and just being better, better Melissa, like I think now that we're talking, like I'm so hung on to like, oh, I've been through so much, or like, you don't know how I feel inside. It's just like, okay, like those are the cards you were dealt, but how are you going to move forward from that? Like, I almost feel like I made it my identity. Like, oh, like, I was sharing that with my husband, like, oh, like, poor us, like, we can't have kids, oh, poor, like, I'm sick of being that person. Right. But I almost feel like it turned into, like, I want people to feel bad, like, which sounds horrible, but feel bad for me so I could feel better, Like, yeah, you are going through a lot. So it's like, no, like, move past it already.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Who else finds that relatable? Like, like, thank you for being super honest about it, because you're not alone. I know other people have felt that way about maybe not that particular thing, but other things, because like you still get a little bit of like energy and like feel good, like when people feel sorry for you, like when you play the victim, you're like, well, at least like, and then you're kind of like, okay, you know what, I'm sick of this. This feels gross. Like, I don't want to feel this way anymore.
Like, I don't want to play victim anymore. I want to be like, you know how you said like, oh, like, who annoys you, like, kind of like with the questions, right? It's like, okay, honestly, like, I wish I could be that person that could like post on my Instagram story, like, oh, here's my journey. And I look at people's story, I'm like, oh, why are you posting so much? But it's because I'm like, I want to do that. Like, I just want to change the victim to like, yeah, post your journey on your story type of, you know, person.
Yes. Well, there you go. That is a clue to your roadmap, actually, for your own personal development journey, I would say. Because all the things that you want to, like, look at your second question. This is for everybody. Like, the people that you hate on, the people that you're jealous of, the people that you envy. What was it about them that you want? All right, so now you know what you want. What do you need to do to like get it? Probably the same thing that they're doing or very similar.
Thank you guys for letting me.
Yeah, no,
and to get some clarity.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think there's more there for you. And a lot of these are like, you kind of have to let them unfold and kind of like definitely start journaling and be like, okay, well, if I go look at that frequency chart, like, what is the feeling that I feel most often? And like, I wonder where that comes from. Sometimes the why doesn't matter. Sometimes it does. Like, let me give you this example, because I think this sun will not leave me alone. Anyway, we were talking to a client last night, and we changed his macros like probably like 4 to 6 weeks ago. And then like he hasn't really been losing as much weight as we thought he would. And we're like, well, what happened? Like, why aren't you losing weight? Kind of like figuring it out. Well, it turns out like he was not really following the macros. And then like we found out like, well, we actually forgot to give him part of the like some of the macros and Trainerize were wrong. And then like I was supposed to send him I gave him the macros, but I was supposed to send him a meal plan and I forgot. Human, okay? And did I remember this? No. Did he know this? Yes. Did he say anything? No, he didn't. And we're like, well, okay, hold on. Like, why didn't you say something? And he's like, I didn't want to bother you. I felt like I was bothering you. Like, really? Like we talk to you all the time. Like, why would that even be bothering me? And then he's like, I felt like I should know, you know? Like, I felt like I should know. I'm like, well, how would you know? Like, he's like, you know, like we uncovered all these things, and he's like, I guess I feel embarrassed. Like, I feel embarrassed that like I should have lost the weight. I should know by now. I should, like, all the like should just kept coming out. Like, I should. And when it came down to it, I was like, all right, well, like I had to like, why is one of the most useful questions for you guys to ask yourself. Like, why do you feel that way? Okay, well, I guess I felt a little ashamed. Oh, okay. Like, go why until you get to like a real answer. Because shame, I don't know if you guys remember, shame is at the very bottom of that frequency chart. And like, he wanted to be like, one of the things that he said was like, he's like said something about like being neglected. He said like, I didn't want you to think by me asking that I thought you were neglecting me. And me and Mike just started laughing. We were like, neglecting you? Wait, what? Like, we talk to you all the time. But like, the funny thing was, we were like, okay, do you guys hear how much projection is in that? Like, he's feeling ashamed and embarrassed, and he's neglecting himself. It's not we're neglecting him. Like, we made a mistake. Like, for those of you who are like, oh yeah, I never got that thing that they asked me, or they told me they were gonna, just tell me. Like, I have no problem. Like, I'm human. Like, I do forget things sometimes, especially if you text me at like 8 p.m. and I'm in the middle of like cleaning up dinner. Like, I might not make it to my to-do list, you know? So I don't mind reminders at all. But that's not the point. The point is, like, at the base of all of the reason why he hasn't been dropping weight has nothing to do with the nutrition, has nothing to do with the food plan, has everything to do with the root feeling of shame. And if you don't let that go and deal with it, then it's going to keep showing up in your life in different ways. And the thing about it too is, like, you might let go of it and it might keep coming back and you have to let go again. Like, it's a constant like work and rework, because those feelings are big. They're kind of like mountains in a way, where like you might let go of a piece, but then like something else triggers it and you're like, oh, there's another piece. And that's why I want you to use that mental witness. Like, just because you dealt with it and you're like, dang, I did that, I won, I'm doing great, doesn't mean that it's never going to come back up again. There's still parts, like, it's like an iceberg. There's still parts that are probably there that are unseen, and it might come back again. And when it comes back again, you're going to still do the same thing. You're still going to use the same tools to deal with it. But don't like feel bad about it again. Be like, dang it, I didn't get it. No, you did. You just have more to let go of. Does that help? All right, Virginia, my favorite name. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little biased.
Okay, so I kind of uncovered a lot of things the last couple of days. And I have the opposite of feelings. I don't know if it's necessarily right or wrong. So it stems from, I had a car accident like early in my 20s, and I have always like fended for myself, worked, bought my own car. And when I had this car accident, I totaled my car. It was like brand new, like I got it 0 miles, like all these things, which I totaled it like I think within the year. And so I knew nobody was going to come to rescue me because it was my problem. And I remember that I felt every low vibrational emotion, because obviously a car accident, I really hope nobody's ever been involved in a car accident, but it really triggers like all these low vibrational emotions. And the one emotion that I experienced for the first time was anxiety. And I hated it with a passion. Like it was just this sensation in my body that made me feel like I was a horrible person. And so I vowed that I was never going to allow myself to feel that emotion. So I came up with this rule where I only allow myself to feel my emotions for 4 hours. So no matter what's going on, doesn't matter how big or how small any issue is, and again, I think it stems from that car accident, I know that I can't really rely on anyone. Like I have to find a solution to my feelings and to my problem, which was like getting a car. Like my parents are not, guys, sorry.
You're good.
My parents are not wealthy. Like they can't help me. They can't help me buy a car. So I was like, okay, I'm in charge of my emotions and I'm in charge of my problems. So basically for the last 12 years, that's been my mechanism. Like I have a problem or an emotion, I allow myself to feel the emotion or deal with the problem. And then after those 4 hours, I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, what do I need to do to fix the problem? What, you know, where am I falling short? I never try to like find blame in other people, because I feel like you said right now, like everything like comes back to you. Like if you're triggered, like if somebody makes you angry, it's because you're allowing yourself for that person to make you angry. And so what's happened is that I am not an expressive person. Like I'm a type of person that I can deal with my problems and my emotions on my own. And like I've never been on the other side. Like I don't like being a victim. Like to me, that's the last thing I want people to see me as. Like, oh, poor her. Like, no, I'm strong. I can figure it out, and I have since I could remember, and I can cope with my feelings, and you know, and to a certain extent, it's okay. But then I'm like, how healthy is that? I don't think I've hid anything from myself. And again, I think it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, what could I do? What am I in control of? What can I fix? But I'm not like calling my girlfriends. I'm not calling my mom. I'm not calling my sisters. Like, I'm in a pickle. Can you help me? Like, no, I, again, do the 4-hour thing. I feel my emotions. I process them. And I look for what I can fix and what I can control. And I'm like, is that actually like healthy? Is that normal? Is that, you know, I'm having doubts now. Like, should we reach out for help? Or if we feel confident enough to, you know, overcome some of these things, would it be considered healthy to kind of, you know, tackling them on your own?
I mean, generally speaking, I think that's a good mindset for you to have. Like, as far as like, you know, you're finding your power and like, what can I do? All right. All this other stuff over here, I can't do anything about it. I can't change that. I can't change the circumstance. I can't change the other person. I can't change this, but what can I do? That's always a good position to take. Like, finding that responsibility for like yourself and being like, all right, well, I don't know about any of that, but this is what I can do. The only problem that I would foresee with that, in that, is that sometimes when you get really, really good about that, and especially when you've been through a bunch of different things, is that you tend to become a little bit hyper independent, possibly, and shut people out because you don't feel like you can rely on anyone. And that's not necessarily a great place to be, because then all of a sudden that isolation that you've just like put yourself in, that can turn into some negative emotions. Something like, well, nobody ever reaches out to me. Nobody ever, you know, calls me up on the phone to see if I'm good. Could be that, could be something else. What do you think about that?
I would say yes. That, you know, because again, I think I've told you guys I have 6 older sisters.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, it's 5, sorry. 5 older sisters. And so it did bother me initially. Like, it was something that I was like, you know, but they're my older sisters. Shouldn't they be checking on their baby sisters? Shouldn't they be like putting her up on game? Shouldn't they be trying to like, you know, look out for me? Or like they're all like about 8 to 10 years older than me. So I'm like, haven't they experienced hardship already that they should call, you know, reach out to me? But I realized that I'm basically like the strong person in my friendship group. I'm the strong person with my coworkers. I'm the strong person with my sisters. Like, I always find myself giving advice and helping other people. And so I kind of just, I think when I hit 30, I'm 36 now. I just turned 36. When I hit my 30s, during the pandemic, I worked through releasing attachment to what other people can't give me, because I feel like I'm holding them to a standard that if they wanted to, they would do it. Like, if they really cared, they would find it in themselves to do it the same way that I do. So I kind of released all of that attachment to like, oh, can somebody like be there for me? But I do remember feeling resentment and like sad because I had just had the girls and like it was the pandemic. I had twins and I basically had to raise them by myself. I had no help, and you know how they say you need a community. So I was like, why isn't anyone calling me? Like, isn't anyone worried about me? Like, I'm working in the hospital, and I don't really tell people this, but when the pandemic started, the girls were like 6 or 7 months, and the unit I'm in is the med-surg unit, which is like for people with elective surgeries, like things that are not important. So what they did in the hospital was like they flipped it and made it into the COVID unit. So I was like, when everybody was like, everyone's dying and all this like crazy shenanigans was happening, I was afraid to tell people, well, actually, I'm like working with COVID patients. Like, they turned my unit into the COVID unit, and I'm like in fear of my life. But I think that made me strong. But every day was like, I was upset. I was angry. But again, I worked through that, and I just feel like if you care, you will ask. If you care, you'll worry about that person. And so I did at some point feel like, why don't people care about me? But not at this point. I think at this point I'm kind of like accepting things for what they are, but then I'm wondering, does that make me like a cold person? Does that make me like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, does that make me a hard person? Because I'm really not. Like, it takes a lot for people to get in my world, but like, once people actually meet me, like I have the softest heart. I will literally cry over a puppy, but I just don't show it. Like, it's just not in my nature.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're the only person that can really answer that, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I will say though, that, like, the more you've gone through and the more that like you've had to emotionally endure on your own, the more guarded we tend to become, especially as a woman. Because like, as a woman, like, we're generally speaking more sensitive, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I actually think being sensitive is a good thing, but that just means we feel the feelings more intensely and more quickly than men do, generally speaking. And so in order to cope with that, we tend to have more of a guard, especially when like people have repeatedly disappointed you. And so the problem that can create is that your guard could potentially be up where it doesn't need to be up. And are you doing, like, your question for self-reflection is just to be like, okay, where do I have my guard up where I don't need to have it up? And in what ways can I show up for myself, but like also show up for other people without expecting anything in return? Because I know it sounds like one of the things that we tend to do just in general, no matter like how you are as a person, is we expect other people to give back what we give. And you might get that, but you might not get that. Like, you're a giving person, you care about people, you check in on people, you would like that from other people, but you're not really getting that. People who are like super driven, like they expect other people to be super driven. People who are very charismatic, like expect other people to be charismatic. Like, why are you in the corner? Why are you being so shy? Like, get out here, like be expressive, right? How you are is how you expect other people to be. You can't expect you from other people. What you can do is you can take the gift that you have inside of you and give it to others and help them know how to do that too. Because the charismatic person who wants the shy person to be more expressive, like, all right, well, can you draw it out of them? Can you help that person become more expressive instead of just getting mad? The driven person, can you like help people like have that fire that you have to like go out and do things and get things? Can you communicate your vision for your life in a way that inspires them to do the same for themselves? Because you know that that's actually a good part of you. Same thing for you. The empathy and the heart and the softness that you have and the care for other people that you have, can you give that and teach that to other people in a way that they would actually become better caregivers to everybody in their life, not just you? So it's like turn the things that live inside of you into your areas where you need to lead other people. Like teach people how to live in the way that you know, like, oh no, that's a good thing about me. Like, here's how it attacks me. Here's how like I self-sabotage myself because I like put my guard up. But like, how can you take that and gift it to other people so that they can benefit from it too? Because that is a beautiful thing about you, Virginia.
Thank you. Yeah, it's, life has basically shaped me into like figuring it out. Like it's just not, and I'm like everybody else. Most of you respectfully, like I know I can't call my parents if I have a problem. And it's not because I can't, it's just like, I just feel like they already have enough going on. Like, how could I burden them with even my own problems? So from a very, very, very young age, I learned like, okay, I have to figure it out. I have to like process my emotions.
Hold on a second, because like I would be careful with that story that you just told yourself right now about your parents. Like we tend to put that on people without them actually saying things most of the time. And so I would caution you against that. And I would say like that potentially, like that would be a question I would go back and look at like question number 1, because I think that probably is a little bit of maybe not a trigger, but like a disappointment. Like I can't reach out to my parents. They already have a lot of stuff on their plate. But I have a feeling you feel that way. Like, don't reach out to me. I have a hell of a lot of stuff on my plate. Like, you want to help, but you're like, dude, I'm the one helping everybody. But like, so that's why I'm like, is it really that they have a lot on their plate? Or is it that you have a lot on your plate and you're projecting that onto to them? And so I'm not saying like totally flip everything and start asking them for everything. But like maybe start to communicate some of the, even if it's just like little things that you need. Like when you're over to their house, like, hey mom, will you butter my toast for me? Like I know the hyper independent people, they're always like literally doing everything. You could have like 10 bags of groceries in your arms and you still won't ask somebody else to shut the car door. Like you're going to shut it with your foot. I read your mail just now.
That's me. I just feel like it's nothing's heavy. Like, I just feel like we place ourselves in these boxes. And again, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, but I have 3 younger brothers. So I was kind of like the mama bear to all of them. And so I had to figure it out. I had to get them to school. I had to figure out the bus. I had to tell them to put on their socks and like, do this, do that. And so, and being around boys too for a long time, I did not have, I wasn't around a lot of girls. Again, my sisters are like way older than me. So by the time that I was a teenager, they were married and having kids. And I spent a lot of time around boys. So boys, we don't talk about emotions. We don't talk about how you're feeling. You just keep trucking, keep going and, figure it out, find a solution. Like, don't be stuck. don't ask people to help you, don't have victim mentality. So I kind of like grew up thinking, okay, like that's the way it is. But now I'm like a whole grown adult with 2 daughters who are super emotional, and I'm like they're triggering me. They're triggering my emotions. They're triggering like, oh wait, like, is this gonna make me cry? Or like, am I supposed to cry? Like, they're crying, should I cry? Like,
Yeah.
it's just I've been on this Rolodex with that.
Yeah, I get you. I'll leave you just with this last question for you to kind of reflect on. And for any of you here that have like some similarities to Virginia, where you're like constantly taking care of other people, you're the helper in most situations, like you're the one that's taking care of everybody, I will ask you this. This is a question for you to like reflect on and write in your journal. Do I feel worthy of someone else's help? How does it make me feel to receive somebody else's help? Do you go like, no, it's okay, like I got it. No. Because I'll tell you, the people that have the highest sense of self-worth, they don't have any problem taking help from people. No problem. Oh, you brought a gift for me? Thanks. Oh, you're gonna scrub my floors for me for absolutely no reason? Thanks. I will just leave you with that question. Do you feel worthy of someone else's help? And if the answer is no, I would start writing something to help you change that in your self-image statement. Okay? You are worthy of help. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of other people's care. Because that's the truth. You would give it, so why can't you receive it? Alrighty. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys have the rest of your Saturday, but little check-in. Honestly curious, was this helpful for you guys? Like, I know it was a lot about feelings, but like I said, I'm almost certain most of us, that's what's getting in our way. Feelings, freaking feelings. Okay. So I'll let you have your Saturday. Thank you guys for being here, for taking the time. Throw in the chat what you found useful out of the call. Hopefully this one saves. My last one didn't save. I was super bummed about that. Hopefully this one saves and I'll upload it to the portal, and you guys can rewatch it, and those that missed can hopefully rewatch it. So, all right, you guys, have a good rest of your day. Kill the weekend. Do not miss. All right. Hopefully this sets the tone for the weekend. Like, do not miss. Use that mental witness. Stay strong. Stay on program. All right. All right. Bye, guys.